So for tonight's Monday Motivation, we're going to be chatting about your mental health and physical health and how you can help each other and yourself, of course. Well, to chat about this with me is Indian body coach, a.k.a. Juggy. Hello to you. Hi.
Hey, how are you doing? You okay?
I am very, very well. Indian body coach. I tell you what, you set yourself up. What a great name there. Great title. I love it. I love it.
I
Well,
appreciate it. Thank
oh,
you.
yeah. You're based in Rugby and offering courses on mental, physical and psychological health. What is the work that you do as the Indian body coach? Just expand that a little bit more for me.
Yeah, so we work with clients all over the world in aligning and optimizing their health.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best way to do that is obviously taking a big step back and having a wide angle look at somebody's life from the moment they get up in the morning, the moment they go to bed, and how that looks over the course of a week and a month, and then starting to apply some real simple behavior and habit changes to improve their quality of life first and foremost. And then obviously from a health perspective, we work on the health triad, which is my trademark system, to improve their physical, their physiological and psychological health, which all sounds like a lot of big words, but in actual fact, it just means people are going to feel fitter and healthier, move better, eat the foods that align to their goals, and obviously feel calmer and less overwhelmed on the back of it.
Right. How did you get into that line of work? Tell me a little bit about your personal journey.
It's been quite a journey, to be honest, and there's been to's and fro's during it. But I think the spark for me was when I was younger, when I was about 10 or 11 years old. My dad was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, and on the back of that, I just saw such huge, profound changes within the household when it came to nutrition and exercise and lifestyle change. And even back then, I noticed it, and I thought this is pretty amazing, actually. And I went and studied nutrition at university, and that sparked my kind of interest in the subject even more. So then I actually moved into being a personal trainer, and at one point I even represented the country within bodybuilding, which was a really cool experience. But I've come right back to my roots, which is health and fitness, and that's something that's really, really stuck with me. And obviously I'm now in a fortunate position to be able to educate others to improve their own quality of life.
With the people that you're dealing with, how young are they? Because I'm getting a feeling that mental health and physical health is something that's it hits those challenges hit before kids get to secondary school.
Yeah, so my youngest client has just graduated from us, and he was 22 years old, and he was going through university at the time. So that tends to be the kind of age range, and a lot of our clients are in their mid-30s and 40s, and a few over 50 that are looking to improve their health. And obviously, menopause is a huge subject at the moment, and we're working with quite a few female clients that are going through menopause and trying to improve their symptoms through obviously nutrition and lifestyle change. So we do tend to have quite a span in terms of the people we work with. But from a mental health perspective, it's one of the things that underpins the work that we do, because you can imagine if you're feeling stressed and anxious and overwhelmed and even depressed in some cases, the actions that you're taking are probably going to align to how you're feeling. So it's not like you've had a really tough day or a tough week and you think to yourself, oh, I'm going to go for a run this evening, or, I'm going to go and have a nice, healthy plate of food. Often we use coping strategies and coping mechanisms that actually make it harder to express the emotion that we're feeling, or even come up to find a solution on how to manage the situation. So there's quite a few things that go into obviously mental health and mental well-being. But I think the one thing that really stands out is I just don't think people have been given the tools to really express their emotions properly.
That's a biggie, and that's repeated with so many guests that I have on the show. It's so true. Wow. Now, the link then between your mental and also your physical health is really important, isn't it? If one of those areas suffers, it really, normally affects the other area, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And this is the thing with the way that we work with our clients is we always work on the mental obstacles and the mental blockers first. And of course, a lot of people, I think there is a little bit of resistance sometimes to realize that there are potentially mental blockers occurring within their life. But the more you start to speak to somebody, the more you realize just how many things they're trying to manage at one go. And then you try and add improving your physical health or your physiological health on top of that. And it becomes a circus act. It becomes so difficult to juggle all these things at once, which is why it's so important to feel calmer and more focused and clearer before you undergo a physical health transformation.
Yeah, and when you say it like that, it does sound just so simple and so much common sense. But wow, that is such a journey to get to. Now, lockdown has affected both people, but everyone actually, mentally and physically. And I'd love to hear how we can actually help ourselves now that lockdown's easing.
Yeah, I think there's so many things that we could do, and it's trying to make sure that it actually applies to you as an individual. Because I do see that a lot of information is shared online and a lot of information goes through social media these days. And sometimes it's kind of difficult to figure out which one applies to you and which one doesn't. So I'm going to give some kind of broad strokes here, and hopefully people recognize some of what I'm trying to talk about. Mm-hmm. I think from a lockdown perspective, there's so much, it's kind of really highlighted how important socializing actually is for all of us. Socializing with friends, socializing with family, socializing with food on the table, socializing at bars and pubs and restaurants. It's going to be such an interesting shift. But I think potentially a lot of people have realized who their true friends are and who really matters in this time. So the people that you've really missed, the people that you realize you can't live without. For me, that's my parents. During lockdown, we've barely been able to see them. We've got 2 kids under 5. And, that feeling of just being able to go into the house again and spend time with them we just can't wait. We just can't wait for that moment. So it's really important that when things are easing up, you don't just rush back out there. Just take a moment to step back and think, well, who do I want to spend this time with? And how do I want to spend it? Do I want to be getting, drunk in a pub, or do I want to be having a few drinks and enjoying the moment and being present with the people that I care about the most? See, there's a big difference between, going all out with a few drinks or actually enjoying the moment. So I think that's going to be a huge factor here. I think with other things opening up, obviously we've had the gyms open for a few weeks now, and getting back into those environments, enjoying the environments, and again, using the wide array of equipment that's going to be available to us. I feel like swimming pools have opened up as well. So that gives way more people the opportunity to exercise now, and that's crucial. But I always go with the 3 A's when it comes to really shifting your health and your fitness and your well-being. Do you mind if I go into them? I feel like I've been talking for a long time here.
Well, actually, at the we will share your top tips in a few moments. So hold those for a moment. Yeah, because they're going to be amazing. So just hold on to those. Awesome. Another question I want to ask then. The sort of things then that you can do to improve your physical health in day-to-day life. So it's going back to work. There might be some little secrets you can share with us, and things that kind of keep you going, keep your body in a regular flow during the day.
Yeah, absolutely. So even from a physical fitness standpoint, if you have been quite sedentary during lockdown, it makes very little sense to rush back into a gym and train 5, 6, 7 days a week when the motivation is very high. It makes a lot more sense to strategize your output from one day to the next. So, for example, if the gym is open to you and you're planning to go back, you probably want to ease yourself back in. You probably don't want to go in full throttle straight away. So maybe you just give yourself a couple of days where you go back into a gym. But then there'll be a lot of people that don't even need to go back to a gym right now. And there's a lot of people that would benefit from getting more fresh air, giving themselves a basic step goal to work towards, and trying to be more active from that manner. So I feel that would be the best approach to take towards physical fitness, easing yourself back in and recognizing what your body's going to recover from, as opposed to going all out and hoping that you achieve results in the space of a week, when in fact we've got our bodies for the rest of our lives. We really need to respect it.
What a powerful word, giving our bodies time to recover. We've just been through probably one of the worst moments in many of our lives. And like you're saying, you can't just go rushing back into things. Oh, we do need times to recover. And this is all about being kind to ourselves, isn't it? And actually understanding we've been through a rough time. Now we just need to just slowly get back into a regular pace of life.
Absolutely. And I mean, if we take it from a scientific perspective, we're talking about something called allostatic load here. And our body can only really handle so much stress, whether that's physical, again, physiological, so inflammation from within, or even environmental. So for some people, going back to work actually represents quite a big challenge from a social anxiety perspective. That's huge at the moment. A lot of people are struggling with getting back to normal day-to-day routines.
Yeah.
So I feel that we do have to be kind to ourselves and be compassionate towards ourselves. And again, the physical look that we're chasing, it shouldn't be about a short-term window of, oh, everything's open up in June, we need to look our best. We should really be thinking 30 to 40 to 50 years down the line, because it's still going to be the bodies that we need to look after forever.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's leave that one hanging in the air. Crikey. The body. You are so right, though. Juggy Sindhu's with me. He's our Indian body coach. Do leave us with your top tips for a better mental and physical health regime.
Absolutely. So I always go with the 3 A's for this. So the first A being assess. So simply take a big step back and look at your life in its entirety. I can think about how exercise might fit into your day-to-day, or that nutritional approach that you're about to take, or that diet that you're about to jump on. How does it fit into your life, and how does it integrate into your life? Similar to what we talked about before, whatever you do now, it needs to have a long-term positive impact rather than just a short-term one. Then I would say the second A would be align. So this is where you start to look a little bit more introspectively. So try and consider your own personal values, what makes you who you really are, and consider how these changes that you might be looking to integrate into your life will actually align to who you are. So there's no point if you've been out of shape for 50, 60 years or even 30 years, turning around and saying you want to be a bodybuilder tomorrow. It's probably not realistic. It's probably not who you really are. Otherwise, you'd have gone down that route already. And then I think the third one would be take actions, but make sure that actions are small and meaningful. So they're actually habit changes or behavior formation instead of just completely U-turning on everything you're currently doing, because you can imagine that probably won't last very long. So just make sure that every action that you take aligns to who you are, and it's going to have a positive impact for you in the long term, not just the short term. And that's my speech over.
Take a bow, take a bow. Oh, Juggy, they were fantastic. Brilliant tips, all practical, and I would say all achievable as well. So thank you so much for your wisdom that you left with us. Great points you've made. And for me, that standout moment when you're talking about giving your time, giving yourself space to recover, I think is really, really powerful. Thank you so much for joining me today. You take care.
Thank you. Take care.